Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. It is our off-air podcast for our Platypus Posse. And if you would like to be like, ooh, I am officially in the Platypus Posse, because you are just by listening. Yeah. If you want to like go above and aboard, above and over,
above and beyond.
Above and beyond. You can always go to the Miguel and Holly fam / Platypus Posse Facebook group, where you can go and talk there. And especially since Twitter, X is dead.
It's a mess.
It's just a shit show.
I go on it because I'm used to going on it, but I just get really depressed and angry when I get on it.
100%. So it's a good way on this Facebook group to talk about stuff from the show that you want to sort of connect with other people because you listen on your own. Make sure to check out our other podcasts like Miguel and Holly Full Show, Miguel and Holly's Blown Off, Miguel and Holly's Queen City Confessions. You can listen to your heart's desire. We are on our way to 500 reviews.
Are we there?
499.
Shut up. That's crazy.
We are right there.
I really didn't think it would happen. I thought it would be at least like through right to the end of the year.
Yeah, because I think we started it and it was like, what, 400 and something?
Yeah, it was low.
It was low. But you have come in, you have showed up and showed out. Kelvin, your task over the next week. How do we give away this?
My time. This whole time.
Figured out.
We're going to figure it out. Now
hey, listen, I've just been here trying to get us to get reviews to get our podcast shared more often. I don't know how we're going to do it.
Well, all those times that we were like, we're going to figure out somehow. It was actually Kelvin.
Right. Time. And obviously, we don't want to just stop at 500. That was just our sort of incentive to just because a lot of people don't know that you can do that.
Right.
Here is a review. Tony from Tampa left on Sunday. Thank you. The subject line. Hi, Miguel, Holly, Kelvin. I waited forever to do this because I wanted to say words that would drench you in the appreciation and love you deserve.
Tony, who I believe is listening right now or watching.
Hey, girl. I wanted to say Miguel and Holly, I have listened to you first in Tampa and now in Charlotte for years. And Kelvin, you are such a beautiful addition that makes the team whole. Thank you, all of you. Here it goes. I retired after decades of being a first grade teacher in the middle of COVID. Zooming 22 first graders that last year did me in. Yeah. I decided to take the time, retire. It was a rough transition. I've worked full time since I was 17, all through college until I retired. And then, like a light switch, it changed. It was hard. To get myself healthier, I turned to exercise. I walk/exercise and listen to your live shows and your Uncensored podcast. You all have helped me every step of the way. I cannot thank you enough for the many hours of laughter, at times crying, and heart-wrenching connection. You are my safe place. You all are incredibly hardworking, genuine, and loving people. I love you so. Thank you for letting me be a part of the fam. Tony, Leon, Tampa, Florida.
Oh, and yes, Tony has already said hello on the Facebook. That's so beautiful, Tony.
Thank you. That just, and we keep saying it, but I just, as you all are drenching us in love, I want to continue to drench you in love because without you, none of this would be possible.
Doesn't exist. It's not like it's a weird job, actually, and it is a job. It's our career. It's our work. But it's a little bit weird because, like, let's just say you were, I don't know, like administrative assistant at like a corporate bank or something. It wouldn't really matter what your customers had to say about your particular, how you're doing your job. But for us, it's everything. It's literally everything. It's not just the execution of the job, which we're also scrutinized about. It's how do you feel about it? So thank you.
Thank you. That truly means the world. Kelvin, you're at home today. How's that doggy doing?
Still kicking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's see.
Still kicking. Still looking outside the window and just acting like nothing is happening. Acting like he doesn't have an incision. Just acting like nothing actually happened.
I think typically that's pretty normal because he probably doesn't remember that he has an incision, right? Like he's probably just like, Why are you putting this cone on me? What is wrong?
So he
He's
just
just
kind of lays there. I mean, I just gave him his medication, so now he's calmed down. But yesterday, just walking him, he immediately wanted to start running and going crazy. So we have a few more days of medication, but he does pretty good. He's doing pretty good. I think I should be back in studio probably by tomorrow. So
okay.
I think he's doing
I'm glad
good.
he's handling it good. I'm glad he's handling it well.
Yeah.
Typically they do, but you just never know. But I'm glad he's handling it well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Holly, on the other hand, you missed it this morning, Kelvin.
Oh,
because you were working from home today. When I turned on the camera and I saw Holly, I was like, "Oh,
I'm sorry.
I was
I'm tired today.
no." I was like, "Girl, what? Oh, it's the dog, isn't it?
It's the dog.
What happened?"
I'm just tired, y'all. I don't know. And like last night was actually not as bad. Like there were no accidents. My fiance got up at 1 a.m. and then I just got up. But like the problem is, so his crate is in our room and I'm a light sleeper. So I can hear every time he shifts. And I think I'm not getting very good sleep in general, even though I'm not having to get up and take him out. That's fiance's job in the middle of the night. I got up, a little early. What?
I said, I know that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's not just the nighttime where I'm like hearing every time he shifts and I'm like, okay. Is it okay? Okay. Does he have to poop? What's going on? Like, so, and then like, I forgot about this until right now. I fell asleep at about 10 last night. And then at 10:45, I heard Maya screaming, "Mom," which is not rare. Like, she calls me probably 3 out of 7 nights for whatever reason. She's going through a period right now where she's scared of the dark. So, and there's no lights in our bathroom because of our wet ass ceiling. So we still don't have lights in our bathrooms or my bedroom.
Man, I wish I did parody songs.
I know.
You're lucky I don't sing or play an instrument, because please believe the day after we did that on the podcast at 7:25 on our morning show, I would have debuted Holly's Walk to Charlotte.
I can rap.
Feeling. I just can't rap.
No, Miguel. Thank God.
Can you rap, Kelvin? Kelvin, you can rap because you did when we did that rap challenge.
I could rap. Yeah, I could rap a little bit.
All right.
We missed an opportunity.
You know what? Now that I just thought about that, be on the lookout next time we got Holly's
next disaster. I don't know.
Holly's waff, wet ass floor. I don't know.
Please no. Why? You know how many times I've cleaned the floor over the past 3 days? It's got pee all over it, so it really is.
When it rains, wad, wet ass dog.
Yeah. We're supposed to get some weather today. And so I'm like, what do I do?
Oh my gosh.
Wad. But anyway, yeah. So Maya called me last night and she's like screaming. And I walked in there and this is not normal. She's sobbing. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? You have a nightmare? She's like, no, I've been calling you forever and you didn't hear me. And I'm like, have you? Because I was like, the dog has kind of been keeping me in like the state of twilight. I didn't hear her. We have rain sounds on. Now I'm also listening for the dog. Poor Maya's like apparently screaming for me and she's right across the hall. So anyway, I didn't sleep too well last night. But I guess I did though, because I didn't get out of bed. So I don't know. It's just been a lot with this puppy, but we're making it work. Every day I say at least 5 times, hey, we can do hard things.
You can get through it.
It's just a bad time. It's just a bad time right now. It's not always going to be a bad time. Although for the one person who probably wanted a puppy the least, it's a very difficult situation.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Why don't you get silicone earbuds?
Because I got to hear the dog. I can't not.
But you're not taking care of it overnight. Isn't your fiance?
No. Well, yes and no. Like I'm the failsafe because I will wake up and he will not. Like he set an alarm for 1 a.m. Right. So he set a loud alarm that went off and he's like, time to get the dog. But like if the dog suddenly changes from like, this is how it's very nuanced. If the dog changes from kind of like shuffling around to switch a sleeping position or stand up, flop over the other way. That sounds different than like scratching and now a slight whining. And I can tell the difference even while sleeping. And I'm like, you gotta go.
Oh,
Because yes. And I've now cleaned out. We've had to take this huge crate outside 3 separate times, twice to clean pee off of it and once to clean poop off of it. And I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again. Okay, anyway, that's fine.
Well, because I feel like, isn't it like, because obviously with dogs with their powerful scents,
you have to make sure that urine scent is completely eradicated.
Right. But then they sort of learn that don't do it the place where you're sleeping because then it's just uncomfortable for them.
Yeah, and that's what one of my friends said. She's like, "That's so weird because, typically dogs don't go in their crate." But I mean, we're dealing with a puppy that has 0 training whatsoever. So like we have really underestimated just how tiny his bladder must be, because, they shouldn't go in their crate. That's the whole point of crate training.
Mm-hmm.
But he has had like 3 accidents now in the crate because either he hadn't fully emptied his bladder before he went in, or whatever. Like he was just in there. We put him in for a nap and he was in there for an hour and he went. And so, my fiance was like, this is my fault. I probably should have taken him out one more time just to be extra sure. And that's what's exhausting, I think. That's what's mentally exhausting. Every second of the day, you're thinking about, what is this dog doing? Have we gone potty enough? Am I playing enough with it? Oh my God, is it nibbling on something? It's constant focus, and that's mentally exhausting. I think that's the end of my rant about that.
Well, if you get a chance, go to the Miguel and Holly Instagram, because the video of Maya meeting little Teddy for the first time is the cutest, most wholesome thing you will see on the internet right now.
Yeah.
My goodness. Hi. Guess what? We got a dog. Oh, he's peeing everywhere. I don't care. Hi. Okay, out. No, down. Good boy. Hey, down. Okay. Hey, down. Okay. Just calm down. Oh my goodness. So surprise.
I feel like Maya's like at that age now where she literally can't contain her excitement. She's just like,
yeah. When she is excited about something, And by the way, Maya, I gotta give it to her. And I only have 1 kid, so I don't know how any other kids behave, but I can tell from like my fiance's daughter that the reactions to things will vary wildly between different kids. Maya is the best reactor to a gift, to a surprise, to whatever. Like, that's why we always want to get her on camera, but sometimes she gets annoyed about it because I think she feels like we're putting her on display, and we absolutely are. So she, of course, gets annoyed. And so that's why I can't share that much. But like, I'm talking birthdays, Christmases, Easters. I could compile a carousel on Instagram of her best gift surprise faces. Like, the joy and shock and just pure love that comes out of her face, beautiful. Like, she's the best reactor. And I don't think some kids are just like, oh my gosh, thank you. No,
she's a Leo. She's a performer. She wants you to feel the joy. I felt like that's how it was when I got the first Christmas. I went to my husband's family in Buffalo, and I was shocked because I was like, I didn't think I just met them. And so they all got me gifts, and I was like completely shocked. And so it was pure like,
yeah.
Oh my God, y'all thought of, oh my God.
And like nothing warms the heart of a giver like that kind of reaction from a receiver. And so it's a beautiful thing to watch this child open presents.
So aren't the sleepless nights
worth it? Yeah, it's worth it for that. That was really beautiful moment. And she's so excited. And I was having a really hard moment. Like yesterday at dinner, right before dinner, it was because keep in mind, this is only full day. Yesterday was full day number 2. Sunday was full day, Monday was full day. So yesterday was Tuesday. Right before dinner, things got very hairy because when Maya got home from school, things got because when she gets home from school, it gets a little hectic anyway, and so then you've got the dog and you've got my fiance who's been with the dog basically all day and has not had any breaks. And then I'm coming in, Maya's coming in, she's excited, now he's excited, everything's excited. And I'm like, okay, we're on a timer though, because Maya's got dance class at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays. So we need to eat dinner. We have to start dinner at 5 p.m. because she's a slow eater. So we can handle this normally, but throw this dog into the mix. It got so crazy. I had to run to the store. We're making tacos. We literally had the meat in the pan. And my fiance's like, we don't have taco seasoning. And I'm like, great, that's great. And then, so he's like, I'll just figure it out. So he throws in, all he did literally was like cumin, chili powder, salt. And I'm like, is it going to be too spicy? He's like, I'm like, for Maya? He's like, yeah, because it's seasoned. I'm like, hey, you don't have to get sarcastic with me about it. And he's like, it's fine. And so now we're starting to bicker with each other. It's so bad. And it turned out it was actually great. Maya was like, I love this. And I'm like, oh, thank God. But anyway, so we're making the tacos and then we're like, well, did he go out? Who's the last? Where's Teddy? What's going on? And by the time and then the dog had jumped up, put paws on the counter. And I was like, no. And then my fiance is like, you're not supposed to yell. I just went to puppy class today. He's like, you just have to wait for him to stop doing it and then reward him when he gets down. And I was like, where's food on the counter? He's like, all right, because and I'm like, I don't know. And I'm crying. Trigger upon trigger for me. I'm now sobbing. We're putting the food on the table. And then the dog did something else. My fiance was like, no. And I'm like, I thought you said you were supposed to yell. And he's like, well, now I'm triggered. And Maya's just like eating the taco. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, this is just really hard. And I didn't want to cry in front of you, but sometimes it's okay to cry. And she was like, are we taking him back to the rescue? I'm like, no.
Oh, no.
I'm tearing up just thinking about it. It's funny, actually. Now it's funny, but it was not funny last night.
I'm writing this on the schedule. You're telling the story on the air tomorrow. I'm going to label the segment as why Holly almost took her dog back to the shelter.
Yeah. Oh, no.
On day 2.
Will come for me. They'll come.
No, but once they hear, he's all about the tease. And then they're going to sit through some songs and then they're going to be... I had to stop myself.
Time spent listening. Yeah, it was a time. So anyway, then my fiance shoved his tacos in his gullet in record time, which he got a big mouth, so it went quick anyway.
Hello.
But he's like, I'm taking him out. I'll just be in the backyard. And I'm just sitting there silently crying. And Maya's just like, so, and then I think she said something along the lines of like, can I cheer you up with a story? I'm like, please, anything right now that you can tell me. Like, she's auditioning for a part in The Lion King right now. So she wants to be little Simba. So anyway, that's how that ended. But it was just, so when I'm saying to you, like, it only took 3 days and we're like
breaking apart at the seams.
We're coming apart. And then I forgot, this is the final great part of the whole thing. In the midst of all that, my fiance, and I've talked about this before, he has bipolar disorder, and he is such a great job of managing it because it is very difficult to manage. It is a very serious condition. In the midst of all of this, he goes, I didn't take my pills. And I'm like, you didn't take any pills today? He goes, no, I forgot. I got busy. And I'm like, oh God, and we're dealing with all that too. On top of all this.
Y'all have just had a hurricane come through your house and it has just stayed over it. You're in the, you know what? You're in the eye of the storm.
Like, why did we do this? Yeah. We do this.
You're in the eye of the storm. So
the regret phase lasts for a while. That's
really fun.
Until you find a rhythm. Like, clearly there's no rhythm, and that's normal. That's day 3. You just have to get used to it. You're adding something in that you have to take care of on top of your whole family. Like, it's gonna be hard.
Right. So, it is. It's just difficult. And that's what we keep telling, like, and we went in between, my fiance and I, and after that, like, we hugged it out, and he's like, I'm just scared that I'm screwing this up. And I'm like, I'm scared. I'm not the dog part. Like, y'all are the dog people. You people are way better than me. He's like, you are one. You just don't know it. And you're too hard on yourself. So we're just trying to build each other up and not be on opposite sides. We're on the same side with the common problem of training this dog. So that's my story. I'm glad you got a topic out of it.
Yes, we'll be doing that tomorrow. But that reminded me of an argument that Abe and I had Saturday. Not even an argument, but just bickering. Because this always happens probably like once a month when we're both we've been drinking and we did a little Saturday fun day. And then we get back home and then like one thing can trigger one of us.
I hate that. I hate that.
And it happened on Saturday because we did a little Saturday fun day and took one of our friends out that wasn't feeling well. And we, took him out, met some friends out for brunch and then for some drinks afterwards. And so then we went back to their house and had dinner and then we Ubered back home. And then we got home because Abe has been traveling the past few weeks and he's home on the weekends. And so one of our big tips back and forth is that Abe likes the kitchen counters to be completely bare, like nothing on it unless what's necessary. Whereas I always have some papers or just I always have something on the counter.
The kitchen counter can be a catch-all sometimes because it's stuff where I'm like, I don't know what to do with this because it's a little bit urgent, but I can't put it somewhere. I'll forget about it.
And it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Well, since he was gone, I was like, it'll be a nice surprise. So I last week, I super cleaned the house. I had the kitchen counters completely clean. Well, he's gotten used to having stuff on the counter, so he keeps his little vitamins on the counter. And so when we got home from all this day of drinking, and he was looking all around, he's like, where are my vitamins? And I was like, oh, I put them under the counter for you. And he was joking and he was like, oh, so whenever I leave, then you decide to keep the kitchen counters clean and I can't keep my stuff on the counter. And I don't know what happened, but in that moment, my drunk brain snapped and I was like, you know what?
Oh,
I was just trying to do this for you. So when you came home, that was a clean kitchen. And he was like, I was just kidding.
I'm kidding. Serious. And now, but see, then it's bad when you're kidding and now you're not kidding because then it's like, why are you gonna yell at me like that?
Right. And so then I'm heightened and he's trying to bring me down and I'm just like, yeah. And I was like, do you want another drink?
Probably not.
There we go.
Probably not.
Oh my gosh.
That's the worst. Because in that moment, there's really no calming you down. And you're just like, I hate everything.
Nothing.
That literally was 12 hours ago. And then today I'm like, just laugh and tell the story. And I'm like, I was literally sobbing at the dinner table. So I get it. I do get it.
Let's see here. Doe-Eye said you definitely have to establish a routine for the puppy. They do best with routines. Teresa said, remember that the dog is new to this, but so are you all. Give it a little time working together with Teddy and it'll all fall into place. Been there, done that with many dogs. And then Anne-Marie said, yes, you set a schedule. You will learn and be able to read when he has to go potty. Grace takes time. Plus that svelte he will learn to follow in potty time will be so easy. Did I read that right?
I think maybe she meant schedule.
Oh, he will. Okay, that's schedule.
Yeah. And I saw Doe-Eyes had asked about what seasonings he put in the taco meat. It was a crazy time, Adrian. Just know. So, and we were lacking on things. The only thing he put on this meat was salt, cumin, and chili powder.
That's the main basis, though.
It is. And corn, he put actually, and good, thank goodness he said this because I didn't know he did this. Those were the 3 seasonings, but then he took cornstarch and sprinkled it on all over and just started adding water so it thickened everything up. How a taco seasoning will actually thicken up the meat, and it's not just loose, dry meat. So he put cornstarch, water to thicken it up along with the salt, cumin, and chili powder. And it was really, it wasn't anything fancy, obviously, but do you need anything fancy when you just haven't tacos? No.
By the way, since we're on the topic of food, I made steak in the air fryer on Monday.
That's right.
For myself, I made 2, and so I had the other one yesterday as leftovers. And I found the perfect recipe to reheat steak to make it juicy.
I was gonna ask, old steak?
Oh no, it tasted even better than the fresh one. I was shocked because I was like,
microwave mine.
Oh, no. So here's what you do
Okay.
is you put olive oil on both sides of the steak.
Okay.
You put it in the basket, and then you take 2 little pieces of unsalted butter.
Yeah.
You put it in the air fryer, and you put it on 350 for 5 minutes, and then you let it rest for another like 3 to 4 minutes. It tasted even better. It was that simple. I was like, because in the past, when we've reheated steak that we've had from somewhere, I just throw it in the air fryer, and then we're both like, God, this is so fucking dry.
Yeah.
Cut
We
your
need
throat.
we need some A1 sauce. God damn.
Yeah.
But this didn't need any sauce. It was absolutely perfect. So there's my recommendation for reheating your steak.
I mean, honestly, though, the secret to a good steak is just throw some damn butter on it. It's really
Mhm.
that solves, like, I want to say, like, I don't want to be dramatic, but like 90% of steak issues. Like, throw some butter. And if you really want to get crazy, make your own little herb butter.
Abe has done that before.
God, it's so good. And it's really easy. And you can honestly just do it with dried stuff. Get it fresh if you want to, but like, don't get crazy. Like, butter is going to help everything.
So real quick before we head out today, because I am going to get my hair dyed today.
What?
It's not going to be that extreme. It's just going to be sorry, I got an email. Just
like, how are you gonna, like, we just gasped and you're like, oh, let me check my email real
sorry,
quick.
no, just email are coming across. I'm like, what are they talking about?
I know.
I'm getting it like a dark red. But not like a candy. So I don't know if you're going to be able to notice because I'm also getting it twisted.
Is it like my dark red, which I doubt.
You're getting extensions?
Yeah, no, I'm not getting
I couldn't hear that. Sorry.
No extensions, just dark red, getting it dyed, and then I'm getting it twisted.
Is it like
It'll
this?
be probably a little darker than that.
Okay. Okay.
So my my hairdresser, we've been going back and forth for like weeks because I'm like, all right, I want a different color. And this is why I like Dawn, because she's super honest.
Yeah.
So like we were looking up what it would look like with my twist because we're trying to like find the right color.
Yeah.
And so then I saw some red that I was like, ooh, I was like, that looks like they have candy in their hair. I don't know.
I like kind of looking like I have candy in my hair. Ow.
Yeah, see, not me. I'm like, I like it on you, but not for me because I'm
It
like,
might be too red. Is it like a purplish red?
No, it's not going to be that light. It's going to be like
dark, like a
dark.
deep,
Yes, like a deep red.
almost like a burgundy.
Yes, because I want you to still be able to tell.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be like you can only see it in the sunlight because we're going into wintertime here. So we were like looking at different examples, and when I pulled up like Black Men Twist colored, and they had some with like blonde a little bit and at the tips, and I was like, ooh, maybe this. And she got real quiet and she goes, I say this with all the love.
That's about to be a good comment.
She was like, you too grown for that look. You too grown for that look.
Oh no.
And I was like, you know what? I appreciate that. Cause she was like, because we've been talking about how I want to evolve my style. And she was like, and what you've been telling me over the past few months, that's not gonna fit with what you want to do. And
also, I just thought about that. Trying to jive with your beard.
Right.
You're like over here with a really like lovely, by the way, salt and pepper situation coming in with literal frosted tips for Black men. Sir.
Taking it back to the early 2000s.
And you love to shake your hair too, just your little blonde tips going. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh.
So we did red. So we're doing red. So that's where I have to head out here a little early to get
the whole thing, or
the whole thing.
I am so
Make
pumped.
it real.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Do a little
boop. Okay, I'll do that. You're my little boo thing. Hey, my hair. Anyway, so the thing I wanted to talk about that I was gonna bring it up on the show, but I'm like, there's not enough time to sort of get through this because this is like we got to sort of meander through this a little bit.
Oh.
So I have to be very careful about specifics of the situation.
Ooh.
So there is someone that I've known professionally for a long time, and she was married to a guy, and the wife and the husband worked in the same field, but I dealt with her.
Okay.
Then
this is you personally?
me personally, this is someone
All
I
right.
know who I dealt with for a long time, for like
Okay.
about over a decade.
All right.
Worked with her. Then maybe 2 or 3 years later, she decided she got pregnant and she was like, I don't want to do this professionally anymore. So I'm going to hand over all my clients to my husband. And so then I started dealing with the husband over the past, few years.
Right.
So this is a person that I talk to probably every 2 years or so to sort of talk about the services that I procure from their business. Okay.
Okay.
So I get an email to set up a meeting with this guy who I hadn't talked to in a long time. And their assistant just very casually was like, hey, can we reschedule the meeting? Because something happened with his ex-wife and their kids. And so he has to change the meeting. And I was like, excuse me?
Ex-wife?
Right? And then
Children?
I was like, wait, I know that we've been gone for a year and a half. COVID happened, so I haven't really been checking up on them to see like what's going on in their personal lives. So I was like, all right, let me do some investigating real quick before we get on this meeting. And I'm not just like, what the Okay, I don't know if this is going to be shocking to you all, but just because I know them.
Wait a second, though. I feel like I might know them. But that's neither here nor there.
You maybe. I'll have to tell you off the air.
God bless it. I hate what I might know, but I don't know. This is torture. Okay, so what had happened, please?
So I get off, or I finish with the email, like, oh, yeah, cool, I can reschedule it. So then I immediately go to her social media to be like, maybe this is like a wife that he had before they got together, because I just feel like they were like really in sync. I know they're around the same age as I am. She has just recently gotten to a relationship with a woman.
Ooh.
And her whole like physical, because she had a very like traditional, like I work in a very corporate look.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I was like flabbergasted. I'm like, what? How did this what happened? Like,
I'm shocked. Even if it's not the person I think it might be, I'm still shocked. Goodness.
I was like, I have so many questions.
I
like,
get
how,
it.
like, did you know the full time? Like, did you know that, because you can't just assume that someone is straight just because they're married now. Like,
correct.
Maybe she's been bisexual this whole time, or maybe she discovered it. Like, I was just like, girl, I was like looking through all the pictures.
I feel like, though, I don't know. This was probably a surprise, right?
I've always wondered those like late coming out stories, because
Right.
I understand the traditional, like you got to keep it in the closet, maybe make my family happy. But the ones that like go through a marriage, kids, do the whole family life, and then come out, I'm like, what? Why? I just want to know why.
I find it, and this is where like I have a hard time. And I don't know if this is the right word to use. No, I do have empathy for them, but I always say, I feel like one of the reasons why I think I'm good at giving advice is because I can put myself in someone else's shoes and sort of wrap myself around their thoughts and their feelings and try to help them through it. I've never been able to understand that situation when you were in the closet, because for me, it was just so clear in my soul and my fingertips and my body from the moment that my personality started showing. Bitch was about to be gay.
Yeah.
Like I was on the gay side of the Kinsey scale. Like I am gay, gay, gay.
You're super gay.
It is. And so that's why I have such a hard time wrapping my brain. And I want to say there's no judgment. I just can't wrap my brain around, maybe you didn't realize it, or it was
denial. Maybe the denial was so strong that you were willing it to be the other way. I want to note, we had like a confession today, right? Remember? Same type of vein,
right?
Where this woman was going to be in a wedding, and one time she was more friends with the bride than the groom, and she said to her friend the bride, she was like, I think that your fiance is gay. And of course it didn't go well. Needless to say, didn't go well. The conversation, I mean, the bride was not about to hear that. And then the marriage only lasted about a year because he had lots of affairs with men.
Yeah.
So for a situation like that, putting aside the person that texted us, like just looking at that marriage, going through the whole ceremony and like all this, like, did you think that all of those balls were just going to stay in the air that you were juggling? Is that the denial that's like, I can pull off having this marriage while I'm also having affairs with men?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm curious about.
Right.
And it just is very, why bring that woman into it?
Right. I was just shocked, and I was like, I know Teresa was like, Miguel, that is for her to tell you, not for you to question. I know many women and men who've gone through this, and I would never, because we do not have the relationship, for me to message her and be like, hey girl, I saw your Facebook, what happened? I would never.
Like, could you imagine opening your, like, you have gone on, you've moved on with your life, you're fine, you open your Instagram from like someone that you've heard from not but once in 2 years, who's like, girl, look at you. I'm like, shut up. Like, welcome to it. Yeah.
I wouldn't. I was just so flabbergasted, because it's like when you put people in a bubble, which is why I understand why parents have a hard time when their kids come out, if they are completely blindsided by it, because when your child who you've birthed has had this one path in life, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's going to be different. That's a lot. And it takes a minute to sort of wrap your brain around their new existence. And so that's
processing.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why yesterday, just knowing her, and just, she had this very corporate look, and I remember when she was first pregnant and she was so excited. And then I was like, oh, wow, she's quitting the industry to go, be a stay-at-home mom. Cool for them. They're going to have a cute little picturesque family. She don't look like none of that no more. Like, I expect to see her next time that I am, in Tampa, to maybe see her out at, one of the gay establishments. That's just such a departure from what I knew her as. So that was just fascinating.
It's like, two different people.
Right. 100%. So anyway, that was just, I was like, there's no way for me to talk through that on the air or have to do it on the podcast, because I was just like,
yeah, that's a lot. You could not have done it on the air. That is shocking to me. That's very shocking.
Had somewhat of a same situation through a friend of a friend. I'll say that. And he was married. They had a kid. They had this big marriage. We loved him. They had this perfect house. And he decided to move to another state for a job. And so his wife stayed behind. And it ended up that, I'm too deep in the story to know. I've tried to keep it filtered, but he saw another gay couple being very affectionate towards each other, and so when that had happened, I guess that influenced him to finally come out. And that's it. Like, it just went downhill from there. Like, the wife was like, I'm shocked. We've gone through this. Like, we have our whole family. Our families are together. We have a child. And he apparently had an affair for, like, I want to say maybe a year or so. And basically did the same thing as what the woman called today, and said the same thing. Like, he had an affair. They were seeing each other left and right behind their backs. Like, it was devastating. And now they're good friends, obviously, because they share a kid. But man,
that's tough. I would be so interested. Teresa said,
It's tough. I feel for both people, like, heartily. So,
I did not come out for years, but it was mostly me trying to figure out life and how to deal with it with a society at the time that was not accepting. And especially depending upon where you live, that can be a very tough situation. So just know that I'm not coming. There's no judgment. It was just shocking to first hear that they were not together. And then when I did the digging and saw her social media, and I was like, that looks like a completely different person. Holy crap.
Yeah.
But good for her, and for hopefully them, for now living in the truth, and they can live, a more authentic life to themselves. For their partners. All right. We're all done after all that hot tea.
That was That woke me up. I'll be honest with you. That woke me the fuck
Because
up.
you've been gossiping all fucking week. I have heard you through the whole week. What is this? It's Tuesday or it's Wednesday, but every single day you've been like, I want to hear it. I want to know every single day.
Listen, I'm just giving in to the fact that I'm a nosy bitch. Like, I am a nosy because, like, our life is so settled now as a married couple. Like, we don't have any drama. Like, we're fine. So I'm like, I don't want any drama in my life, but I want to hear about everybody else's.
I was just about to say, you are the pot stirrer, aren't you?
I'm not the pot stirrer. I'm not the pot stirrer.
The storyteller.
Right. I just like to know. Because I want to be there and be like, oh, God! Oh, my God!
Yeah. Goodness gracious.
Holly, what's all your social media?
Radio Holly, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever. All the things. I'm on Radio Holly pretty much everywhere. I apparently also my Snapchat is still floating around somewhere. It's not on my phone though, so I'm not using it. Hopefully I just wish it would just go away.
Kelvin, what's your social media?
TikTok, X, Instagram at Kelvin Live. You can snap me. I don't know what my Snapchat is, but I'm sure you can find me on there. Send me all the pics.
You can find me on Snapchat. I still look at it every day. I don't post to it though. I use the filters and then I post it on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can find me at Miguel Fuller on Instagram, TikTok, and Be Real. And make sure to share the podcast with someone. Be like, hey, here's something fun you should listen to. We will see you all on Friday. Bye.